Greetings, fellow YouTubers and VC. Today I'm doing a contest entry for a channel here on YouTube called Ground Zero Salem. He's doing a contest letting us know what albums that we loved at the beginning, hated, and then either loved or we still hate. So I just got a few examples of stuff that I loved, then hated, and loved again. So let's get started. Well, the first band I want to show you is a band that was back in the 80s when I heard their first two albums, and that band was Sabotage. When they released this album, I kind of skipped it because of the bad reviews that it received back in the day. But I did love the title track, and that album is Power of the Night. So this album took me a long time to like, because I did like Sirens, as I said, Dungeons. I skipped this album and Fight for the Rock, and I went straight to Hall of the Mountain King. And now I'm kicking myself for not getting a this album back in the day. But now I have the reissue, and I tell you, I really like this album a lot. I don't know why people didn't like it. I think it's a great album. It's not as heavy as the first two or Hall of the Mountain King, but it still has that heaviness. So yeah, I didn't like it back then, but now I love this album. Some great tracks on here, like Power of the Night, Warriors is a great track, Necrophilia, Skull Session, Fountain of Youth, all great tracks. And yeah, as I said, I am kicking myself for listening to or reading reviews, how bad this album is, and it isn't that bad. So I loved it. Back the track Power of the Mountain King, but just that song was the song that I heard on the radio that I loved. And when reading reviews, that kind of swayed for me to buy this album. But I'm gladly that Ear Music reissued it, and I'm glad I have it in my collection now. So Sabotage, Power of the Night. I hated it. Now I love it. If you don't have this album in your collection, do check it out. You'll be surprised. The next band that, again, same as with Sabotage, I kind of skipped back in the day because in my thoughts, I thought this band was, soft rock and something that I wouldn't be interested in. So for 20 odd years, I skipped this band completely. And that band is Dawkin. And I have the first three on CD. Yeah, when I saw this band back in the day in zines, and I saw their music videos, I thought, nah, this is not for me. It wasn't heavy enough, and it was just really soft rock. I think one of the songs, I can't remember which song it was. I think It's Not Love. I think that was a video I saw, and it was very soft for me. It wasn't heavy enough. So I skipped this band, and I didn't like it at all. And glam metal wasn't my thing back in the day. But like, as I said, 20 plus years later, when I watched the movie Dream Warriors and I saw the video for the title track, I thought, yeah, I really love that song. So I said to myself, I need to track down the albums. So one day I went to my local record store, saw these two albums were going cheap. I said, "Yep, I'll go pick them up and have a listen." And I loved them, and they are heavy, not as brutal heavy, but they have their heaviness into them. So then I went out and brought the first album, and again, this is a great album. All three of these albums, they are heavy. They weren't what I thought they would be. So, as with Sabotage, I didn't like them back then. I thought they were too soft, too commercial. But now I love these albums. I need to get the fourth one, and that'll be it for me for the Dawkin. But yeah, Dawkin was another band that I loved or hated, loved. Now I really love them. So check them out, Dawkin. The next band is a band that I love the first few releases from them, and I did love this album back in the day, and that was Celtic Frost, Into the Pandemonium. And this album, when it first came out, I loved it. It was heavy, and it was different from what To Megatherion was. You listen to it, and it says, "Oh, what is this stuff? It's weird. It's uh, choirs and orchestras and samplers," and it didn't really. It clicked, but it didn't click with me at the time. I was pretty young, and the song "Mexican Radio," which everybody really dislikes that song. It's not a bad song, but to put it as the first track on an album, yeah, it was strange. So yeah, I love this album. Then I kind of later on got put off it, but there are a couple of tracks that I still love, and that's In the Sanctum and Babylon Fell. But yeah, I really love this album. It's different, and Celtic Frost were a band, way ahead of their time, and every album they did was different. Uh, I could have shown you Cold Lake, but I don't have that in my collection. Yeah, but this album was leaning towards that direction. But this is a great album. It's heavy, it's dark, it's moody, it's a little bit weird sometimes. And I said the song Mexican Radio, I don't think I would have put it as the first track. Maybe I would have put it at number 10 or as a bonus track. But yeah, this is a great album. Celtic Frost, Into the Pandemonium. And the last band is probably get a lot of controversy. But these two records, I loved them when they first come out. But now I don't listen to them at all anymore. And that is Iron Maiden. You got the Book of Souls and The Final Frontier. These two albums, they're not bad albums. Are they fantastic? No. But they do have some good songs, but they are getting quite long-winded now, and they don't click with me anymore. If I were going to listen to some Iron Maiden, I would go back to the 80s stuff. This isn't don't get me wrong, these are they're good albums, but there's some good songs on here. Like on this album, you've got El Dorado, The Alchemist, Mother of Mercy, some great songs, but a little bit long-winded, and yeah, just it's just forgettable for me. And I just don't like that cover art anymore. You know, I miss the Derek Riggs artwork, but again, this isn't a bad album. It's an album that I would go back to and re-listen. Yes, I would re-listen to it. It might change my mind, but I used to love it, but now I don't love it anymore. And the same with the Book of Souls. Great songs, but just too long. Uh, and I think probably it's in the same vein as Senjutsu, which I don't have because you know I've seen videos people saying it's too long-winded, and yeah, and that's not what I want to hear. You know, over 2 hours of Iron Maiden. I don't mind Iron Maiden doing a epic long song. Like Rome of the Ancient Mariner, Alexander the Great. They're great songs, but to have those three or four of those songs on an album, it's just too long-winded, and it gets kind of boring. Will I go back and listen to this album? Maybe. But I said before, I'd rather listen to the 80s stuff. So, those are the albums that I either love or hate or love again or hate again, whatever way you want to look at it. So, yeah, please go check out Ground Zero Salem's contest. It's a very good one. It is a hard one to do because there are so many records out there that you, the VC, may love or you may hate. So thank you very much for watching. As always, stay safe, stay heavy. Until next time, bye for now.